I'm sorry, Feasel. I hit that like 0.5 seconds early. Can you dock me later?
0.5 seconds?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So if it's like a world record time, we're disqualifying it, right?
Yeah. Well, no, he's disqualified regardless, completely.
Oh,
And he will not be allowed back on the show. Feasel, cut the stream. Just cut it.
That's it. Oh, goodness.
So what does that mean for my roommate?
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
he
we're gonna
quote-unquote your
IP ban you, so
roommate.
unfortunately we'll have to replace Dragon Dark next week.
Right, your roommate.
Doug.
So the goal this time, it's Scotland and then Egypt. So you're seeing this castle-y level right here is Scotland. This is a pretty big level. There's lots of different ways to go. One of the things that's very different about DuckTales 2 versus DuckTales 1 is the levels are a lot more non-linear. And they're definitely meant for you to go back and replay the level and search for stuff that you've missed. I mean, technically you can do that in DuckTales 1, I think, as well, but DuckTales 2, there's just a lot more stuff that you wouldn't get your first pass through the level. And it's even got
there's a lot of secrets too.
Right, yeah, it's got a secret ending, it's got an extra level that you can play, and there's just a lot to it. It would be cool someday to do a goal of this where it's like collecting something, like collect all large treasure chests in a certain level or something like that.
Yeah.
Because it would be cool to see some parts of this game that you don't normally see in an any % run.
There are 100% runs of this game, though, I think.
Yes, good ending. It's not, I don't know if it's 100% run, but there's good ending runs, which means you have to collect all the map pieces and then beat the pirate ship. But there are some things that are just like treasures that are for points, but you have
That's
to go
true.
and solve some puzzle or whatever to go get it. So maybe including some of that in the goal would be fun.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
might
we
even,
actually have pulling this level too. I
There's
actually
pulling.
mentioned it before.
There it is.
There it is. You actually used that game mechanic. Wow. So I know a lot of people play DuckTales 1, but I'm just wondering how many of the people who are in the chat right now, or people who are watching this right now, are familiar with DuckTales 2. Because I didn't even know this existed when I was a kid. I mean, obviously DuckTales I'd played a bunch, but DuckTales 2 I just didn't really see. And we've already mentioned that it's one of the more expensive carts. It's kind of rare.
Yeah, back when I was a wee kid and I lived in a trailer park a long time ago, my brothers and I had to hawk our copies of DuckTales and DuckTales 2.
Oh
Because we
no.
wanted money for other games, so we sold DuckTales and DuckTales 2.
Little did
Yep,
you know
I-
that if you just waited 25 years, you could have
Yeah.
you could have bought 10 games with that.
But I think one game back when you're a kid is worth more than like 20 games when you're an adult.
You're not so much about the delayed gratification thing when you're a
Yeah.
kid. Yeah, probably not.
I forgot this is 4 splits, but I just sent it something that is
It's 3 splits.
It's 4 splits.
4.
4. It's 4
4.
splits. You're right.
Contrary to what you may have heard just now.
It's actually 4.
Yeah, the first one was 4, but we switched to 3.
It was to
because we
3,
got
that's
the
right.
robots. Ah,
Okay.
this lag is not letting me jump.
Yeah, the lag will eat input, won't it?
Oh yeah. Moving platforms in this game are bullshit, basically. They lag the game, just inherently. I don't know.
Mhm.
And when the game lags, your inputs can be dropped. So actually, a trick you can use is pogo. Pogo on the moving platforms, and you will always be jumping. Of course, you need to jump once to start pogoing, so it's a little tricky. But that is something you can do to kind of up your consistency.
Yeah, so it looks like a lot of the people in our viewers here have pretty much the same experience of, you know, they played the first one but didn't know that this was a thing. until they became adults and got exposed to all this on the internet.
Or SGL.
Through SGL. Well, through a lot of things. I mean, I think I first saw this because someone was racing.
I never remembered much.
Yeah.
I saw this in an episode of Nintendo Power.
I knew about this because I was a kid. I just don't. I never remembered much about DuckTales. I didn't play it that much.
Yeah.
Because while I did have a console and a system, it was actually my parents that kept it in their room. So you basically had to, you know,
Right.
your parents basically had to let you play. And we all know how that works out when you're a kid.
Right.
They're like, go outside, and you're like, but I'm blind.
But outside doesn't have video
Jordan.
games.
Yep.
Direct quote.
Yeah.
My mom
Yeah.
constantly had the struggle to force us to play outside.
My parents never made me go outside to play, and I turned out just fine. I got to just play video games nonstop. Why not?
I don't know.
La-dee-da.
Get that webcam. Looking at that webcam, Feasel, you don't look so good.
No, it's an improvement. I used to be just 1 pixel when I was a kid.
If you had gone out into the sun, maybe you wouldn't be so blue and purple.
Right? Knew about it, but never had it for sale. Yeah, I mean, I used to rent games, and I don't even know if I ever saw this on the rental shelf, so... Because I definitely would have snagged it if I saw it there. Yeah, interesting that someone mentioned DuckTales Remastered. The game actually... A slight difference in the controls of this game is that you don't have to hold down to pogo. You just jump in the air and then press the B button and you pogo, which is the way it works in Remastered and in this game. But this is where that was introduced. Because that was always one of the harder things for me, I think, in DuckTales 1, just getting the timing of the pogo when you had to hit down and B to make it work. Just more buttons to press. More
Yeah, that's
things that
true.
can go
It's not
wrong.
like regular B in the air did anything else.
Right. It's not like it was an overloaded thing that they had to be careful to disambiguate it from other things you want to do. It's like just unnecessary. I think it's just they wanted it to feel like you were doing something downish, you know, because the pogo comes out below you, so it must have just felt right to the one person who playtested this, or to playtested DuckTales 1.
And I'm sure it was just one person.
Oh yeah. It's usually like one of the programmers about 8 hours before they're supposed to ship the game.
I don't think we've talked too much about the levels.
Yeah.
In Scotland, there's these rings that Toad is coming up to, where there's a
Not
nifty
anymore.
little thing you can do. Yeah, I was like, I bet he's gonna reset after that hand.
Yeah, there's a couple things. So yeah, you do have some of these rings. You want those moving platforms. You got to trigger them as soon as possible. So I think they start moving when you touch them. So make sure you land on the left side of them. Let's see. In general, pogoing slows you down. You lose a few frames when you pogo. So you always want to do a regular jump and not a pogo jump if you can. This spot that Toad is doing right here, he did it I think the safer way, but there's a little bit of hesitation that can be removed if you are willing to take a bit of a risk there.
Yeah, I think Rane did it right before, actually. He jumped into the enemy and you get hit. And I think if you do it right, you can actually just grab the chain right away. But you can also pogo
Yeah, you
off
can
of
grab
the
it right
enemy.
at the top, but I screwed up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's a spot that, because it's the first level in this goal, you may as well try to be, risky about it, but I don't know, it's a small difference.
Yeah, it's also a very small difference.
Yeah,
You
very
gotta
small
think about consistency.
Yeah, that's always
But
the question,
there
is
was
like,
something-
are you better off just doing something more consistent but slower and then getting more completed runs, or, playing it riskier but saving more time with each run that you do?
Oh, it was Launchpad. That's what I want to talk about. Launchpad
Yeah.
is a checkpoint. And you never want to talk to him ever, because all he does is ask you if you want to leave the level. So don't do that. But when you get there, he's a checkpoint if you die. And there is a little shortcut you can take to pogo off of a hand and get to the progress through the level a little ahead of the moving platform. And it looks like, yeah, we just saw Nasir go for it. It didn't turn out too good. But if he had managed to get Launchpad on the screen when he died, he would actually respawn right there. And I think it's still a little slower than if you don't die at all, but it might not be something to reset over.
You're saying the Death Warp is going to lose you some time.
Yeah.
But it does refill your health, so that's the thing. If you care about health, I mean, I'd say in this goal, health is not going to be an issue. And there you see that
Maybe in
Nasir just did
Egypt.
it. What's that? Maybe in
Maybe
Egypt.
in Egypt.
But yeah, basically what happens with Launchpad is you scroll the screen just far enough that he's on the screen, and that's what the game considers a checkpoint.
Rane's beating me by 1 second again.
Yeah, you guys. So yeah, Toad's in first place with a 317, Rane with a 327, and Nasir with a 328. So we'll see. It's the battle for second place again.
Yeah, he beat me by like 1 second last run.
Yeah, he's really good at that.
Just squeezing out a victory.
I wonder if it would be possible to implement some kind of scoring system that takes into account the difference between the times, and even if that would be a good idea, but that would be interesting.
It would be interesting, but the problem with times is that it's not always a good indication of how far apart the players are, because
Exactly.
you can end up, getting a worse time because you decided you were going to play it more risky, Right? It's like when you see sports scores, you can't really tell, if the score is close, if that means the game was close or not, because it could just be that the person who was losing said decided they were gonna do something really risky, in order to make up the gap, and then they ended up failing it and making it look like the difference was more than it actually was.
Oh crap, what the hell did I just do?
Not to mention, if you get a DNF, it's like, what is that? Like
How do you count that?
Infinity
Sure.
points, I guess.
Right, and there's always just the general thing of how do you quantify, how much of a time difference is significant. Do you take the task time as the base time and then do some sort of logarithmic
Sliding
scaling
scale,
of it?
yeah.
Because the closer, the last 1 second you save is more work than the several minutes that you're saving before that. Because as you get closer to optimum,
Yeah.
it's harder and harder. So I don't know how to.
Not
how you would
a
even do
good
that.
idea. Interesting idea.
Yeah.
Not a good one. That's what I do here on the show. I'll be like, hey, how about this? And it's just like,
Right.
Nah.
It's like, how about I sing commentary for this entire match?
Actually, usually I come to you with an idea, and you're like, yeah, actually, I thought about that. And I was like, oh, really? So it's not stupid. Good.
Well, yeah, maybe that doesn't mean it's not stupid. I think of so many ideas, most of them have to be stupid.
Oh, shut up for a second. We got the RoboCop.
Finally, I'm so glad that our theme song is playing, finally.
Everyone just sway back and forth.
Wistful sounds of RoboCop. Alright. So, okay, we talked a little bit about Scotland, some of the challenges in that. We haven't said much about Egypt so far,
Oh,
though.
we're halfway in and we haven't even
Well, that's half the goal is Egypt, so it's alright to wait halfway before we talk about it.
promise.
Let me see. This is definitely more straightforward. I think this is more straightforward than Scotland, but I could be just completely full of it.
I think you are. The weird platforms that you have to hang off of, I think, are
Oh, that's right. There is this little
Yeah.
pull-down platform bit.
very intensive on D-pad input, and it's easy to lose, half a second to a full second, depending on how they go. And Rain just demonstrated a way to lose over 2 seconds.
Yeah, Rain just demonstrated with it. That's a shame, because that's a very good run he's got going, too.
Yeah. And there is a visual cue for those platforms. There's like a strip of gray and black, I believe it is, and if you get the platform flush with those strips, then you have enough space to get in there.
Oh, looks like that wasn't a PV for him. Oh, is it? I think it was just because he had he had 3 splits instead of 4 splits on his thing.
Yeah, I'm looking for 328 or better. So.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll see next time.
There is these. There's a couple spots in Egypt where it demonstrates how scrolling the screen upwards on ropes works. The Scrooge's top hat is what can scroll the screen if it gets up to the top, but you can very easily pogo way above the screen and kind of, up into the menu behind it or whatever. Or you get in front of it, yeah. And when you do that and then you grab a rope, it doesn't just automatically scroll. You have to go pretty high up, or maybe even, I guess, down and back up. That sometimes would be better too.
So you're saying you go over the top of the rope and you have to kind of come back down if you want to grab it? Or can you actually...
Yes.
Okay.
But you can also grab it, like, when you do grab it, you're higher up than you even need to be to scroll the screen. So the best thing to do is to actually grab it on the way up before you get to the menu.
That's interesting.
Yeah, just one of those little ways to save time that are going to become important when you're losing by 1 second.
Stop giving them hits.
Alright, and then you saw Nasir doing the damage boost strat to get up onto that chain. It's a good strat there.
Also in Egypt, there are those bouncing sarcophagus guys, and I hate them. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a few places, I guess right before the pull down part, there's that one sarcophagus guy that it doesn't look like you can pogo off the top of, but you can. So I guess we'll point it out.
Guy.
Yeah, also
even the guy
screen,
underneath the arrow, look at that.
Yeah, that screen that Rane's on right there, that guy, just making that fall so that you can do that part optimally is not obvious how to do that. Another thing I'm seeing that looks like it's players are losing a little bit of time on is when to hop off the rope. It seems like people are leaving the rope just a little bit later than they need to.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how early you can get off of those things and make it okay. It's part of how you can get through that sarcophagus guy without stopping.
Right.
And of course there's the boss. He is somewhat random where he appears
I
in
guess
the middle or the sides.
Yeah, he has 3 places that he can appear and 4 places that he can disappear into.
Yes, I think that's correct. You can hit him twice if you get him good and early on the first time, and then again as he's sinking into the sand. It's a little tough. I find you need to wait longer than you'd think. Even though you're seeing him sink down and you're like, he's getting away, I need to hit him. You can hit him when he's pretty far down there. Just
almost
tag him
buried.
right in tag him right in the what did we call it, the coif?
Yeah, coif was the word
pharaoh
for the
headdress.
the pharaoh headdress, right? But yeah, you should be able to get 2 hits per cycle, I guess, if you do that right.
I think if you get unlucky and you're kind of sort of on one side of the screen, he appears on the other,
Oh,
you're
at
not
the-
going to get the 2 hits.
Yeah, if he's at the farthest point. That's right. I do remember those guys saying that during the tutorial. Alright, so we have 2 327s between Nasir and RaneOfSOTN. Looks like Nasir's is just slightly faster. 2 frames faster.
Wow.
2 frames apart. Take that. 2 frames apart.
3 frames?
2.
Okay.
I'll show him.
Just a couple frames separating those 2.
2 frames, It's enough.
It's more than 0 frames, so that's what matters.
Yep.
And there's no webby skip in this, so there's pretty much everything is worth going for in this one. Well, I guess the webby skip's always worth going for because there's no risk, but
Still a fair chunk of time left, about 9 minutes.
ooh, that sucks missing that little open ceiling. Yeah, about 9 minutes left on the clock.
There's a secret in there that you can spot it by the tiles. The brick tiles actually continue all the way down. I never noticed that till someone pointed it out during the tutorial, and I was like, oh wow, look at that, yeah. Yeah, you get up there and you get ahead of your platform, the moving platform, and save a bit of time. But Scrooge's hitbox is so damn big, like it's every pixel you see has detection on it for hitboxes. So when he's big feet that go all the way out to the sides, he can stand on something on the very, very tips of his big wide feet. So when you need to fit into a 2-tile gap, you need to be pretty dead on, really, to get in there.
His hitbox is, I think, either an entire 2 tiles wide or pretty close to it. I'd like to see what the hitbox looks like, but I bet it's a big, like, 2x2 block. I bet that's all. It's all one big hitbox.
32 by 32.
Yeah, 32 by 32. Well, we do SGL every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time or so. So make sure to tune in and follow the channel so that you'll see when we're live. We're still doing tutorials for the Big 20 race. Those are happening, continuing to happen. I think we've got like 6 or 7 more games to go, so we'll be trying to finish those all this week. And stay tuned for info about Thursday SGL, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be starting that very soon, Thursday evening SGL. Possibly even this coming week if I can just make sure to get enough players for it.
Yep, it'll focus on the mystery game aspect, where no one knows what's going on until just before, and you get an hour.
Right. So we get to see people with very short amount of time trying to cram in all the routing and strat finding that they can. So a test of those skills.
It also means if you've been interested in being on the show, but you're like, a whole week, I'm
I'm
an
busy
adult
week.
person,
I don't know what my schedule is.
work and I have kids, whatever. You only need an hour and a half, I guess, really, to
That's right.
to do a Thursday show.
Got just over 6 minutes left on the clock, guys. We're also, anyone, if you are interested in playing, we're also looking for players. We're always looking for new players for either the Saturday or for one of the Thursday shows. And if you would like to suggest games or goals for us to have on the show, please send us a message. Website is speedgaming.tv. You see the URL in the lower left corner there, and that's got info. Got links to all the info that you need, contact information, as well as results, standings, etc. Oh, it looks like Nasir's getting. Oh, he came in with it was minus 32 going into that boss. That's got to be.
Invisible boss thing is like really hard to deal with.
Yeah, that's got to have been from an early splitting, though. Or from
Yeah, I
late
think
splitting.
so.
So he wasn't actually that far ahead, but...
I just got robbed, but whatever.
Let's see. Oh, it's not... Oh, wow. Yeah, he's got a great time coming in. Missed the 2 cycle. Missed the 2 hit cycle. Twice.
I only missed it once.
Oh, really? I thought the first time you missed it. It's hard for me to tell where the flicker is.
Nah, I hit him twice the first time. I hit him once the second time. I would have gotten on the third go, but you saw what happened.
Yeah. Well, that's too bad. Still enough time to do another run and then start another run after that.
Does anyone else find it hard to do really, really shallow pogos?
Oh, to not hit those spikes on the ceiling there?
No, I mean like when you're breaking the blocks for the thing.
Yeah, you have to... Don't you have to do it several frames in advance? Like, it takes some time for the pogo to take effect. Right?
Yeah, it is possible to jump, to not jump high enough for the pogo to come out, and you just kind of do these weird little hops. Of course, every time you hold the button too long, you go way up into the air, you gotta wait to come back down, so definitely a good, like, I don't know, half second to a second maybe to save with optimal block breaking pogo.
Alright, we're coming down to it. It looks like Toad just got a run in. He's now down to 313, give or take, so solidifying his lead. It is still a real tight race between RaneOfSOTN and Nasir.
Yeah, it's been a real treat to see these guys go at it.
Yeah, they've really matched this week.
Hey, I just picked one person, and that's the one person I'm going to be close to.
Look, the two of them have exactly... Oh, not exactly the same splits, but almost the same splits going right now. A less than 1 second green number on the first part, and they're both at plus 0.1 on the second.
Not see this guy at all.
Well, after this match is over,
Oh
we're
my
going to have a
God.
bonus game, too, so stick around for that. Oh, the groaning.
Oh,
I can't
the
see
boss
him.
invisibility
Yeah.
really screwed him over there. Because you don't know which way he's gonna go. Well, yeah, no, he totally can just turn around or keep going, so if you can't see him, that totally sucks. Damn. We should do a little research. Try to figure out why that happens, and if there's any way to fix it.
Yeah, we had, when Author Blues was on the other week, we tried a couple different things to change the settings to make it not flash, or not turn invisible, but I don't think we ever found anything that worked for him.
No. Maybe there's like a monitor setting that people could do, if it is a monitor issue.
I feel like it's got to be a refresh rate issue on the screen. That's my guess.
But we'll get back to that at some
Yeah,
other time,
some other
because it
time.
looks like we're getting down
We're at
to
the
it.
almost the exciting conclusion of this match here. Less than 20 seconds left. Pretty soon these players are going to have to make a decision.
Did I pull back ahead of Nasir or not?
You are ahead of him by less than a second.
Okay. I just need to know, because when you do the reset, I gotta make a call.
Alright, oops. It's time for last call and resets. Now's your chance to do it. And
Alright, well,
window of
let's let it
opportunity
roll.
closed. So now these players are stuck with whatever run they've got. No more resetting past this point. Toad is most of the way through a run. He's looking at green numbers right now, so that's good. The other two still in Scotland. Rane's got the boss knocked out, and he's looking about on par with his PB. But right now the burden is on Nasir to try to make up that just over 1 second.
Toad got a pretty uncooperative boss pattern there.
Yeah, I see that. He lost a bit of time. Alright, so no improvement on Toad's last run. Nasir finishes the boss. And let's see what his time is. Okay, he's about broken even. So both of these guys are pretty close to their PBs going into Egypt.
Yep. I don't want to say anything more. I just want to watch.
Don't want to spoil anything. Yeah, these pull down things make me nervous.
Mm-hmm. Because you gotta down to get off of it, left, then pogo, make sure you're far enough left that you don't hit the thing on the way up,
Yeah.
and then right once you get up there, the D-pad movement has to be pretty precise.
Sure, and then you worry that you maybe didn't pull it down far enough, and then you have to go back, and that's a reset right there. All right, so RaneOfSOTN takes off 2.5 seconds, it looks like, from his PB. So a very solid time for him.
Nasir's got a great run.
He's
going
got a
into the
great
boss
run going.
fight.
Let's see what happens.
This is
think he got a double
nerve-wracking
hit.
when I can't
Oh
watch
my
the
God.
stream.
Oh,
Oh,
Well-
death. That would have been, I think he probably would have got it. Oh, that's a heartbreaker.
it would have been super close. I don't know. He might have gotten it if that had not happened.
Ugh. Invisible boss too strong.
Man.
That was a valiant attempt. Man, the way you guys matched up would have made for a pretty good show. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
he really did.
Well, thank you guys for having me on the show. Unfortunately, I have to dip because I'm not at home.
Yeah. Thanks for doing it, even though you weren't around. I'm sure it was a bit more work for you to have to tether to your phone to do this, but I'm glad you were able to do it.
4GOP.
Yeah. All right. I'm just
Well,
getting.
thank you guys
to all
again,
our
sirs.
runners.
GG.
Good games, everyone.
Yeah, you should everyone should follow these runners. Follow them on Twitch and see the various things that they do.
Alright, thank you guys.
Yep. Thanks for being here.
You'll definitely see more DuckTales 2 on Toad's stream in the near future, as it's part of the Big 20 coming up May 2nd.
We're actually going to do a tutorial for one of the Big 20 games coming up in less than an hour now, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It's 51 minutes from now. We're going to do Gunsmoke with Zyre, so check that out. Let's go. I just put the bonus game up, guys, so if anyone who wants to stick around and play the bonus game, go and check on your dashboard. But I'm going to bring up the overall match results so we can take a look at that. That's not the one I wanted.
Don't think I've ever heard of this game.
There it is. Okay, so here's the results for this episode. Looks like Toad swept, RaneOfSOTN swept second place, and Nasir swept third place. Some very, very similar looking matchups here. But okay, so match 1, yeah, Toad was in first place, and RaneOfSOTN and Nasir are very close, 1 second apart from each other. Match 2 was actually our least close match, so pretty strong separation between the players. And then match 3, we're back to Rane and Nasir being neck and neck the whole time, except on his final run, Rane happened to bring home big enough improvement to take to solidify second place there. So congratulations, Toad, for sweeping the competition.
Yep, a very strong, strong
first showing. Yeah.
I told you he was good. You got to be good to win the Big 20.
Yeah. Cool. Well, let's see. Yeah, they're putting up the bonus game now. This is doesn't count for any points, but we do like to have a fun game, to something at the end to sort of throw some variety in the mix.
Well, sometimes fun is in quotation marks.
Sometimes, well, it's always fun for me. I pick games that I think would be fun to see you guys play. But this time the bonus game is going to be Guerilla War.